Now it's led to a new career. The plane's become a flying test bed for a new aero engine being developed by the Norton Motorcycle Company.
My wife named it Mistress. She said it took all my time or my money or my love, you see, so I said it's like having a mistress, and the only difference is she knows where I am on a night. When I was building it, I just became a total recluse, you know, and I would come home from work and disappear into the workshop till 1 o'clock in the morning, so it's lucky I've got an understanding wife.
OK, well, we'll fly after the break. Coming up in part 2, the weekend soccer action and our Monday night feature Goal. And the locals is a West Yorkshire pub who are getting more than they bargained for from the local brew.
Whatever else you lose, don't let go of your Express Millionaires Club card. It's all you need for a chance to win £1 million. Yes, £1 million with the Daily and Sunday Express. Don't lose out. See tomorrow's Daily Express.
Welcome to Sky One, part of the Sky Television Network. Entertainment for all the family, exclusive special events, and coming soon, The Who with Elton John and Phil Collins in the musical Tommy. Get Sky Television now. For written hire details, call free on 0800 991 991.
Get your figures straight. All margarines, 80% fat. Polyunsaturated margarines, 80% fat. Even sunflower margarines, 80% fat. St. Ivel Gold, 40% fat. Experts recommend eat less fat. Gold from St. Ivel.
Well, the dry spell has brought thousands of people flocking to see an unusual sight in the Peak Park in North Derbyshire. Lack of rain has revealed the remains of a village drowned nearly 50 years ago when the valley was dammed. It's also enabled a vicar to finally visit a part of his parish which had lain underwater. This report from Ian McBride.
Derwent was once a thriving village of more than 200 people, with its own school, church and pub. But in 1943 their community was sacrificed to make way for the expanding industrial towns and cities nearby, and the village was buried under 6,000 million gallons of water, with people moved to new houses at Yorkshire Bridge 2 miles away. But the drought has emptied the reservoir to less than 40% of its normal capacity, revealing the remains of the village. Malcolm Thorpe was just 3 when he and his mother Frances, who's now 79, were moved out.
Well, my first memory is looking out onto the main road from the schoolhouse yard where I was born, and I can remember looking out onto the road, and I can remember pushing my brother out into the middle of the road and leaving him there.
We had drives and dances and, you know, cricket matches, just, you know, village life.
The drought has brought sightseers flocking to see the remains of the once bustling community, among them Derwent Hall, built in the 17th century for the Dukes of Norfolk, and outlines of the hall's old gardens further up the valley. For the Reverend Nigel Gower, it's his first chance to inspect part of his parish which he's never seen before, because officially he's rector of Bamford and Derwent.
When I was appointed here, I was appointed to Bamford and Derwent, knowing that this part of the parish was buried, drowned under the reservoir. Remembering reports that it had appeared from the water occasionally, I didn't dream that it would appear during my first summer in the parish. It's fascinating to see, fascinating to listen to the stories told by some of the people who were here at the time.
However, there's still some way to go before the reservoir plunges to the depths of the drought of 76, when people could walk right across the floor of the valley.
Well, it doesn't look as low to me as it did in 76. And with the trees all going yellow there, it looks as though it's probably later in October than the beginning of October. But no doubt over the years these stones will have crumbled down and leave the mess that it is now.
With no immediate sign of the drought ending, there's renewed interest every day as more of Derwent becomes visible. However, hand in glove with the receding water levels comes the threat of rationing and standpipes in the streets unless the weather changes. But at the moment, that prospect isn't worrying the sightseers, who are reliving a little piece of history.
Surprise for a couple in Lincolnshire today. They had a royalty, a piece of royalty, a person of royalty rather, drop in for lunch today. Bill and Beryl Cox edited newspaper on cassettes for the blind. Now, it was this work which led to Bill being invited to a garden party at Buckingham Palace. And it was there that he returned the compliment by inviting Princess Anne, no less, to call in for lunch. And today she did. Simon Garrett reports.
While Mr. and Mrs. Cox were busy getting lunch ready at their home in New Bolingbroke, the Princess was on the first leg of her Lincolnshire visit, opening a new factory in Spalding. The George Adams meat processing plant cost £6 million to build and has created more than 200 new jobs. The Princess was told it would use some of the most advanced and hygienic food processing technology available to churn out, amongst other things, pork pies, rather a royal favourite with the Duke of Edinburgh. But there was certainly not a pork pie in sight by the time the Princess Royal sat down for her lunch in the strictly vegetarian Cox household. Bill's Talking magazine goes out to hundreds of sightless listeners nationwide. He asked the Princess about her charity work and says she was very clued in about the problems disabled people face.
She was very much aware of it, and she was very much aware, particularly the employment of blind people, and indeed employment of disabled people in general. She was very, very much aware of this, and she said that she felt that we'd made great progress, but there was still a little way to go.
The Princess talked about a wide variety of things. Even the lunchtime fare brought some comment.
The rock cakes were a tremendous success. The Princess declared the rock cakes to be excellent, and of course my wife's rock cakes had to be tasted to be believed. Did you try one?
I haven't had the chance.
You'll have to have a go. We'll have to have one before you go.
It now seems there may even be a second instalment on the interview, as the Princess Royals agreed to speak again when the magazine moves to Northumberland in the near future. The Princess's next port of call was at nearby Mareham-le-Fen for the official opening of about a dozen new homes. The bungalows, called Woodman's Corner, have been put up by the Lincolnshire Rural Housing Association. 2 of them definitely passed a royal tour of inspection. The final stop of the day was at Kirkby-on-Bane Church of England Primary School, where the traditional royal visit bouquet was handed over. The school's been refurbished at a cost of £85,000. And the visit gave some of the pupils a chance to let the Princess Royal know what they thought of their new classrooms.
She's a hard worker, that lass, isn't she? Now then, let's move on to our weekly soccer feature, Goal. And Doncaster Rovers take pride of place with an emphatic 6-0 win over Hartlepool, their biggest away win for 30 years. We have the highlights from that game and plenty more goal action from the rest of the region's teams. Here's Brendan Foley.
Things began well enough for Hull, Ian McParland putting them ahead after 12 minutes, their first goal in 4 matches. It wasn't long to savour it though. Newcastle fullback John Anderson doesn't score too many like this. The match itself turned on a 4-minute spell in the second half. It's Gary Brazil with the acrobatic header. And Brazil again, this time putting Mark McGee through to finish the Tigers off in some style. Hull 1 and Newcastle 3. Huddersfield warmed up for their Littlewoods Cup date with Forest tomorrow night with a win over Orient. Mike Cesare, the star of the show. His teasing run halted abruptly. Dignity restored, he made it 1-0 from the spot. A shrewd substitution sealed Orient's fate. Ife Anora's first touch of the ball sent Cesare in for his second. Huddersfield 2, Orient 0. Rotherham have their own big cup date tomorrow with Norwich. Clive Mendonca was having a few problems. Bobby Williamson cleared up the mess. 10 minutes before half-time, the Millers went further ahead. John Buckley hauled down. Williamson did the rest from the spot. The hat-trick came on 73 minutes. Well, if you're going to get one, you may as well do it in style. Never let it be said he's greedy, though. Clive Mendonca, the grateful recipient of Williamson's pass. Rotherham 4, Cardiff 0. Doncaster have yet to win at Bellevue, but who cares as long as they can turn it on like this away. Steve Gaughan struck first, then Mark Rankine set to work on the Hartlepool defence, first setting up Lee Turnbull, then shrugging off a rugby-style challenge to lay on number 3, Les Robinson, the scorer. Rovers didn't really need any help, they got it though, Steve Raffle gobbling up the mistake, Turnbull second. Robinson was keen not to be outdone, his second courtesy of Gaughan's intelligent pass. Well, on a day like this, only right to save the best till last and move the whole length of the pitch. Lee Turnbull provided a finish of the highest quality. 6-0, Rovers' best away win in 30 years.
Brendan Foley reporting. And still with soccer, a pint or two after a game is the usual way football teams celebrate a win or forget a defeat. However, one West Yorkshire side believe they got more than they bargained for after a visit to their local. It all began when their pub put on a new beer. And, well, 9 months or so later, the players and their wives think those pints of a new brew are responsible for spawning almost a second 11.
The Travellers Inn in South Kirby was really just an ordinary local until last winter. That's when the landlord put on a new beer. Soccer players in the pub team drank innocently of the brew, which turned out to be more potent than they realised, and began reaching parts that other beers and indeed lagers simply couldn't. Just over 9 months later, these are the tiny tots they say are the results. There's Katie and Natalie. Thomas, who's 4 weeks, Ricky, 2 weeks older, then Josh and Chloe, and another Thomas. Add to them 2 more newborns sleeping it off, and you've got 9 players in the same soccer team who are convinced there's something in the beer.
With lager before, we just used to get home and go straight to sleep, but, you know, since we've started Magnet, we can't wait to get to bed and we're up all night.
Makes you stay out a lot longer than when you're going. I mean, you know what I mean? You're raring to go.
But keeping them awake now are 9 tiny babies, not so good for performance on the field.
We're playing a lot worse now. Like. We were playing right well until this beer came on, and then we've gone downhill.
Do you put it down to the beer or the babies?
I put it down to babies staying up at night.
Most of them, it was their first baby, and for us it's our second. But I hope if it happens again, they'll leave us out.
No more beer. Lager or teetotal from today.
The footballers may have called time, but the landlord has a new sales pitch. Though it's a line some customers are happy to swallow.
You're likely to start a family if you drink one of those.
Not to worry about it. I only got married last weekend. No problem.
And as for me, I suppose you're expecting me to try a bit of this pint now, aren't you? Well, I would, but actually I've got a bit of a headache.
Well, no headaches with the weather today. It was absolutely fantabuloso, wasn't it, Bobo?
It was indeed, and it's actually going to stay that way, Richard.
Great.
Quickly tonight, we're on shorts tonight, of course, not pints. Tonight it's going to be dry, and it looks as though temperatures could go down to about 4 centigrade in 1 or 2 places. And then for tomorrow, well, the same again. A dry day, quite a lot of sunshine, but I think we'll find down in the southeast it does remain rather cloudy. But all in all, it's still pretty good. No rain in sight, Richard.
OK, well, that is terrific. So with that good news, we'll say goodbye. But, of course, see you all again tomorrow. Another edition of Calendar, 6 o'clock till then. Goodbye.
Monday, July the 31st, and a petrol tanker arrives at the Wainfleet Road service station in Skegness. One assistant goes with the tanker driver to the back of the garage to help with the petrol delivery, leaving a woman assistant alone in the shop area. A man who'd been watching used the opportunity to cross the road and enter the garage. He walked up to the counter.
Come on, Nicky, munch them down, eh? Your mum will play pop with you.
I don't like them.
Oh, come on, just shut your eyes and pretend the sugar-coated, chocolate-drenched crunching up flakes, well, whatever it is you usually have.
It still tastes the same.
Oh, come on, get them down here.